On January 1st, 1898, King Grimmett Sr. and Jeannie Morse were married by the Justice of the Peace in Macon County, Alabama. King and Janie had 6 children: Emma, Marie, Tom, John, Roosevelt, and King Jr. King Grimmett Jr. was born on January 22, 1898, in Tuskegee, Alabama, to King Grimmett Sr. and Jeannie Morse Grimmett. King Jr.'s formal education concluded at 3rd grade, and he could read and write proficiently. Mary Segrist was born in May of 1898 to Ida Segrist and Alfonso Segrist. Mary was educated up to the 5th grade. She was the youngest of 3 girls. Sally and Missouri Segrist were her older sisters. In 1912, King Grimmett Jr. married Mary Segrist. They were both only 14 years old when they wed. King Jr. and Mary had 7 children, the Grimmett 7: Addie, Garfield, Hattie, Ida, King III, Helen, and Charles, lovingly known as C.W. Upon becoming a father, King Jr. became affectionately known as Papa. Papa was a stern, no-nonsense man who was about his business, and Mary was a kind, loving wife and mother. From 1917 to 1918, Papa and Mary lived in Beauregard County, Louisiana, where Papa worked at the Bonham Meat Pressing Shop. In 1926, according to U.S. city directories, Papa and his family lived in Cleveland, Ohio, at 2671 East 32nd Street. Papa worked as a laborer in Cleveland before returning to Alabama to run and own his own farm. Papa and Mary's Tuskegee, Alabama home was in the Midway community on Institute to Cheehaw Road, on a farm they owned and where the legacy of the Grimmett family will forever live. When Papa passed away in 1963 at the age of 65, he was survived by his wife Mary, his 7 children, 28 grandchildren, 4 great-grandchildren, and 5 siblings, while his brother Tom Grimmett lived in Tuskegee. His other siblings lived in the North and Midwest. His sister Marie Sims lived in Brooklyn, New York. His brothers John and Roosevelt lived in Cleveland, Ohio. His sister Emma Reese also lived in Cleveland, Ohio. After the passing of Papa, Mary lived a long and meaningful 24 years in her home with her son, C.W., loving her children, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren. As she became older, she split her time living in Montgomery with her daughter Hattie and Atlanta with her daughter Ida. Mary passed away in Atlanta, Georgia on March 31st, 1987. She was survived by her daughters Hattie and Ida, her son Charles C.W. Williams, 29 grandchildren, 30 great-grandchildren, and 2 great-great-grandchildren. Papa and Mary are resting together at Midway Cemetery in Tuskegee, not far from the family farm. Today, the place where Papa and Mary built their family legacy, Tuskegee, Alabama, is still a small, quiet town with a population under 10,000. It is home of HBCU Tuskegee University, where impressionable young minds are educated. And the road that leads to the more than 400 acres that Papa amassed bears the family name, Old Grimmett Road. Papa and Mary lived a good life, filled with the love of their children, grandchildren, great-grandchildren, and great-great-grandchildren. And they built a legacy that spans generations.